Hello everybody and welcome to INFOST 440, Web Application Development. My name is Jim Schultz and I'm going to be your instructor for this class. In this first video, we're going to talk about who I am, what this course is going to be about, what it means to be using Canvas this semester instead of D2L, and then we're going to jump into some new content right away to start off the semester. So a little bit about myself. My name is Jim. I don't have a PhD or anything like that, so don't call me Professor Schultz or Dr. Schultz. If you want to call me Mr. Schultz, you can, but really, you can just call me Jim. That's completely fine. I prefer that the most. I've been with the school now for about almost 11 years, over 10 years now. I've started off as an undergraduate student. I actually have my IST at MLIS through SOAS, so I'm a double alum, and I've been here for quite a while. My regular full-time job is actually working in the SOAS IT office. I actually lead the office. I'm kind of the IT director / systems administrator for the school. So I manage our servers, some of our website stuff, our tech office that provides the first level support, our computer labs, all those other fun things. I started off as a student worker actually when I was in my senior year of high school with the school. I really wanted a job working in an IT department. I really liked working for technology. I came to campus for a tour. I met Chad Zarn, our assistant dean, and he matched me up with the opportunity to work as a student worker in our IT office. So I started doing that, and I eventually moved up through the ranks, and I'm here today still. So obviously that's been working out pretty good. Aside from that, I've always really loved technology. Ever since I was growing up, I always liked, pulling apart our computers and putting it together, figured out how it worked. I built my dad's website for his company when I was in high school when he was doing that. I actually own a small business. I resell shared hosting and do some web development on the side professionally. So I've always really enjoyed technology, and I try to be involved as much as I can. So obviously my full-time job is working in the SOAS IT office. So why am I teaching? I really love teaching. It's something I'm really passionate about for really a number of reasons. First reason being, as I was a student, I had a lot of really good instructors, and I really enjoyed learning from them, and I really appreciated how they helped me grow and develop my professional skills that I use every day. So I really wanted to give back and show students how to do different things like build websites and applications, and I really wanted to help them progress professionally, because I think that's really rewarding for me. I also think it's a great way for me as an IT person for the school to really understand how students are using technology, what some of the trends are, what people are interested in. So there's also that piece as well. A lot of IT people on campus, they sort of toil away in their office and they really lose touch with what's happening around them. So this is a good way for me to stay connected. And finally, I just really enjoy working with people quite a bit. I don't like toiling away in my office alone. I think it's good to work with people and have that interaction. And I really want to help you learn and have a great experience that's going to help you progress and have some awesome opportunities after this class and when you hopefully eventually graduate. So what is INFOST 440? Well, it's web application development. What does that really mean? It means in this class, you're going to be using PHP and MySQL primarily to build interactive websites. So web application is essentially an application that instead of running on your physical desktop or laptop computer, it's going to run on a web server in the cloud. People will access your web application from a web browser. So some web applications you might have heard of might include things like Twitter or Facebook or WordPress. These are all big applications that run on the web. So you're going to be learning essentially the frameworks and how to do that on your own. So obviously you probably have this PowerPoint up or you've looked at it. I'm going to go through this PowerPoint, but I'm not going to lecture directly from it. So a couple of ways that I'm going to try to go through some of this content is I'm going to try to avoid making these videos really long. I'll try to keep them in shorter chunks if possible, just so they're a little bit more easily digestible. You definitely can look at all the materials ahead of time. If you don't watch the videos, I won't be super upset. Although I will say, did you watch the videos if you're struggling? I definitely recommend watching them, but if you jump ahead and behind, that's completely fine. You can watch them as much as you want. I'm not going to read directly off these PowerPoints. I'm going to reference them, but again, I'm not going to try to read through it slide by slide. I'll try to touch on my own personal experiences. I really want this to be an interactive class where I can show you how to do things and set you up to be successful with the course material. So where was I? Yes. So obviously today's agenda, we talked about some of this. Starting to talk about the course. We can go through that, yada, 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 PSQL, MySQL, PHP, and MySQL. So to build these web applications, there's going to be a couple of things that you're going to already have had to come to this class with. Two important things is INFOST 240, which is Introduction to Web Design. If you remember, that was a class you might have had with like Adam Hudson, Brittany Kativ, or a number of our other instructors. We learned how to build sites using HTML, JavaScript, CSS, yada, yada, yada. So in INFOST 240, you learned how to build static websites. These are sites that are not interactive. Users cannot easily put data into the sites you built in 240. The sites you built in 240 might have been like, a portfolio page or a basic HTML page that had some static content, but it wasn't anything to the scale as like WordPress or Twitter or Facebook or anything that's highly interactive like most modern sites are today. The other prerequisite is INFOST 350. This is actually new for this semester. There's not a ton of people taking INFOST 440 this semester because you have to take INFOST 350 first, and that's a new requirement. So our INFOST 350 sections are completely full. We have like 6 or 7 sections. It's ridiculous. So I suspect next semester we're going to have a huge INFOST 440 section because everybody had to hold off this semester, it seems like, from taking this class because they had to get that prerequisite in, which is a new thing. If you're in this class, it means you probably have these two courses already passed because we have the prerequisites enforced. If for whatever reason you have not taken INFOST 240 or 350, please let me know. You probably should not be in this class. Because in INFOST 350, you learn the introduction, essentially the overview of how to build basic applications. I think most of our instructors are using Python. Previously, they're probably using like Visual Basic or something along those lines. But I'm going to assume you already know like what a loop is and what functions are, and those basic things you probably hopefully learned in INFOST 350. We are going to go a little bit over some of those again. But again, I want this to be a new, engaging experience for you. I don't want to bore you with things you've already learned. So I'm going to push ahead and really try to show you some new stuff. This class, I'm really going to try to aim to be a really hands-on class, and I really want to arm you with the skills to actually build something useful they can use once you're done here today. When I was undergraduate students, I had a lot of courses that had a lot of busy work where I might have learned some interesting things, but I didn't really have any way to apply those skills directly when I was done with the class. In this class, I'm really going to try to make sure that it's hands-on for you. You're going to actually build real usable, practical things. And at the end of the semester for the final project, I'm going to have you build something that's going to be really usable for you. Essentially, what I've done in the past, I'm going to likely do for this course as well, is I'm going to have you build a blogging software from the ground up. So you're not going to use WordPress or any other blogging platform, but you're going to build your own, right? So you're going to build the system that registers users, that allows users to post content, allows administrators to author content, etc. You're going to build this all on your own, and it's something that's really kind of cool and useful that you can use hopefully in a portfolio piece when you go off and apply for a job, or if you want to interview somewhere. So you have something to show and pull up that you can really pull apart and explain how it works. So again, in this class, I'm going to assume that you know basic web design and programming concepts, and I'm really sort of trying to make this interactive class that's going to be hands-on and practical, so you can have some real skills, and at the end, hopefully, some examples of you being able to demonstrate your skills to a potential employer or to a grad school or whatever it is you want to do once you're done with your life at UWM in the IST program. If you're freaking out thinking, hey, I haven't taken 240 in a long time, what am I going to do in this class? Do I need to drop it? Well, before you think about dropping this class, you might want to first try brushing up on your HTML. The most important things you're going to need to know and have a good understanding for this class is you need to know how to make tables and how tables work, and you're also going to have to have a good understanding of how forms work. If you think about an application like Facebook, right? Facebook is a ton of tables and a ton of forms, right? Users put information into a form and they submit it, and then it shows up on Facebook and formatted in a table or using div tags or in some way onto the page and displayed. So tables, forms, div tags are all going to be super important. You're really going to need to know those really well. Because when we start going into PHP, you're going to start seeing that HTML and PHP scripting code is actually going to be very intertwined together. So it's going to be really important that you have good HTML skills. So if you need to brush up, these are some 3 recommendations that I have. If you have any other recommendations, please feel free to post them to the course discussion forum. Code Academy, W3 Schools, lynda.com, they all provide different tutorials in different ways. Code Academy essentially gives you short challenges to sort of help you learn various programming concepts. W3 Schools has a lot of examples that you can reference, and lynda.com has a lot of interactive videos that you can watch to review. Talked a little bit about me. Again, I am not Professor Schultz or Dr. Schultz. I prefer Jim, not James. So if I get an email from you saying, hello, Dr. James Schultz, I'm going to know you didn't watch this video. And you just assume that I had a PhD and I prefer James because that's what's on the schedule of courses. But I'm really, just Jim is fine. If you really want to be formal, Mr. Schultz is also okay. But I don't know. I prefer just first names. I don't like titles. Titles are always really confusing to get straight and remember correctly. One time I called someone like a doctor because I thought they were like a PhD, had a PhD, and they got super offended. And just titles in general, again, I'm not a huge fan of them. Just call me Jim, and I'm completely fine with that. I've actually been teaching since 2013, so anecdotally, the reason why I got my master's degree is because I really wanted to teach, and the school said if you want to teach, you need a master's degree. Didn't have the MSIST at the time, so I got the MLIS, which is more of a library science degree with an IT concentration, because I really didn't want to get like an MBA or go over to LUBAR. I really liked working for SOAS, and I enjoyed my experience as a student here, so I got the MLS. So I've been teaching for over 5 years now. I've been teaching this class, essentially twice a year, every year. So I've been refining it as the time has gone on. This semester, there's going to be two big changes. The first one is this is the second time I'm teaching this class online. I typically teach this class on site. I taught it online in the spring, so this is the second time I'm teaching it online. So this is still kind of a new concept for me, teaching this class online. And then the real big change is this semester we're going to be using Canvas instead of Desire to Learn, formerly known as D2L. So with Canvas, there's going to be some changes that we're probably going to make throughout the semester. Canvas is completely new to me, and I'm sure it's completely new to you. So it's going to be kind of, we're essentially beta testing Canvas for the university. So this might be the only course you have in Canvas this semester. So if you have a little bit of patience as we sort of figure things out, that'd be awesome. I have a pretty good understanding of how Canvas works, but I'm sure we'll find some things, some quirks, and we'll have to adjust how the course site is set up throughout the semester. One important thing that I really want to make sure that you understand is it's really important to me that you have a good experience in this class. I was a student, and I've had a lot of really good instructors, but I've also had a lot of really bad instructors. I know you pay a ton of money for these courses. The tuition is definitely not cheap, and you invest a lot of time and energy in the class. So I really want this to be a good experience for you. I want you to be able to learn a lot. I want this to be the easiest learning experience I can for you. I really want to make sure that I'm teaching you really usable practical skills. I want this to be a class that's really going to help you in the long term. Because I know you're not just taking this class because you need the credits, or at least I hope not, but I know you're probably taking this class because you really want to learn. You're really interested in technology. You want to learn how to build websites. So I really want to give you those real practical skills. And at this end of the semester, I really want you to have a lot of work, projects you've done in the class, that you can take away with you and use to hopefully help you find a job or do whatever it is you want to do with your next steps in life. If you have any thoughts on ways I can improve the class, please let me know right away. I'm definitely really want that feedback. Don't wait to the course evaluations because at that point, the class is already done. But if you have any comments, suggestions, just please let me know. You can give it to me anonymously or just be honest with me. Criticism I actually take, I think, pretty well. Is I really value when people actually step up and say, hey, I have an idea that can make it better. I'm not an expert. I've been teaching for 5 years. Technology changes all the time. And I want to make this a good experience. So don't be afraid to speak up, especially if you have any suggestions on how we can make things better. Because I think there's always room for improvement. Even if this class is pretty good, we can make it even just a little bit better if I can get some of your feedback. So in this course, there's going to be some software that you're going to need to use. You're going to have to use things like a text editor for editing your code. If you're on Windows, you probably have used Notepad++ before. That's completely fine. If you're on a Mac, I think most students seem to use Text Wrangler. That's also fine. I am mostly a Windows user, so you're going to see me mostly using Notepad++. But you can use any text editor you want. You'll obviously need a web browser to access your web applications. I might generally prefer Chrome, but if you're using Firefox or Safari or whatever else, that's also usually pretty fine. You'll need an FTP client. I tend to use FileZilla. It works well. It's free. But again, if you have another FTP client you prefer, like a WinSCP or a CyberDuck or whatever else it might be, completely fine. We're going to provide you with some server space to host your web applications. It is a requirement that you use our server space. So even if you already have hosting somewhere else, you're going to have to use our server. The reason being, I have administrative access to our server, so I can go on that server and look at your source code when I grade your assignments. So before we move on to the actual slideshow, I want to take a minute to go over our Canvas course site and the syllabus. So let me go and pull it up. Obviously, everybody here has found Canvas and have somehow managed to get their way into their course site when they're watching this video. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to me today. So congratulations, you found out how to access Canvas, logging into it, and you pulled up this course site. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from the student view, and we can kind of go over where the content's going to be. As you can see, I have all these extra bells and whistles as an instructor. That's probably not how it looks for you. So let me go into the student view. And this is how it's currently set up. Again, if you're watching this video a couple days after the first day of the semester, I might have gone in and changed things. This is going to be a learning experience. Canvas is completely new for me, and I'm guessing it's also completely new for you. So for the past 10, 15 years or so, the university has used Desire to Learn, formerly known as D2L. This fall, some of our instructors are what are known as Canvas pioneers. So what that essentially means is we're beta testing Canvas for the university. So you're probably thinking, great, I'm in a beta testing class for this fall semester, and I'm paying a ton of money for tuition, and I want it to be a good experience. So I'm pretty tech savvy, and I'm pretty confident it's going to be a good experience, but we still might have some bumps that happen here or there, because it is going to be obviously a learning curve. So this semester at SOAS, there's maybe a half dozen or so instructors that are using Canvas as beta testers to sort of give feedback to the university and to help cross-train other faculty, staff, and other instructors when everybody at SOAS moves into Canvas for the spring semester. So next spring, all of your SOAS classes will be in Canvas. This fall, again, there's only going to be some. This might be the only class you have in Canvas this semester. So I'm sorry if this is the only Canvas class and you just have to learn this new platform just for this one class and everything else is D2L. But the good news is next spring, everybody at SOAS will be using Canvas. Unfortunately, everybody else at the university might be still using D2L. The rest of the university has roughly a year or so to get off of D2L and move to Canvas. At SOAS, we try to be forward-thinking. So we're moving off of D2L pretty much this coming year, with, again, some people beta testing it this fall and everybody else moving this spring. But if you have other classes in the future, like in next spring, like let's say you have a course with the English department or history or computer science, they still might be on Desire to Learn. They still have another year or so to move off of Canvas, but we're trying to be forward thinking, and we have, D2L is for sure going away, so we might as well learn how to use this new tool sooner than later. It's not gonna go anywhere, which is one of the reasons why I volunteered to use Canvas, because I figured, hey, sooner or later we're all gonna have to use it. Might as well jump right in and get that experience. So this is the way we currently have the course site set up. Generally on the homepage, you're going to see some weekly announcements from me. I may or may not post something each week, but I will post important things on the homepage. If you click the actual home link, where did it go? There should be like a week 1. Sorry, something is not showing up like I'm expecting it to. I'm going to exit the student view. I'm going to figure this out. So as you can see, it's a learning experience right now for me as I'm trying to do my video. Isn't this fun? So let me just leave student view. But you should hopefully have seen is this week 1 module. Oh, here we go. Is it published? No, it was published. Okay. All right. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to figure out why this isn't showing up. Figured it out. I have to click this little green button right here to publish it. So now I have the check mark. So now if I go back into the student view, let's try this again. Awesome. Here we are. Okay. So on the home page, you're going to have a module for each week. So we have week 1 posted. I'm going to make this content and material fresh each week. Every semester, I try to make fresh new videos every semester. I don't like reusing videos. As a student, when I was a student, I could tell when instructors had like 4 or 5-year-old videos. It was just way too old, and were super boring, and they talked about outdated things. So every semester I'll make new videos. The videos generally will get posted. I usually work from home on Friday and I do the videos. So generally the videos will get posted on Friday night at some point. You'll see them on the Canvas site. If I'm really busy with other work-related things, you might see them pop up on Saturday, but they'll be posted again usually a couple days ahead of the start of the following week. So under the home button, you're going to have all of the items that you are required to do. Generally, each week we're going to have an assignment and a discussion you have to participate in, along with potentially some readings, and then also some videos you have to watch. So generally start by going into the week one content section. And when you click on this, there's not a video in here yet, but this page will tell you what you need to do and also provide you with a video going over the week one lecture. Obviously, since this is an online class and not a face-to-face class, all the lectures are going to be delivered via video. So just kind of keep that in mind. In addition to having the video and some instructions down here under the Home tab, you're also going to find for the module all the materials linked. So you're going to have some code examples in here, and we'll start doing some programming and have any documents that I reference. I'll have them all pinned under the various week section. So as an example, under week one so far, I have our syllabus, the assignment, a link to the discussion that you have to participate in, PowerPoint, and then obviously the video. There might be a couple other things that pop up here sooner or later. So under the discussion, so again, each week we're going to have a required discussion, more or less, where you have to essentially create a post and then respond to someone. The requirements will vary week to week, and I'll post it right here under the various discussion topic, what you need to create a post for, and any requirements revolving around that. They will change from week to week, so be sure you give it a good look. The assignment will be, again, posted right here if you click on assignment 1 with instructions, and depending on what type of assignment it is, whether it's a programming assignment or whether you have to do a write-up, will determine if you actually have to submit a document or if you just have to provide a link. Generally, for most weeks, you're going to be just essentially submitting a link to your assignment on the web space, because you're going to be doing a programming assignment. So when you build an application or do some sort of programming exercise, that'll live on the web server. And I will access it from the server. I can look at the source code. You don't have to turn in any of your source code because I have administrative access to the server. So I can connect to the server, I'll pull open your account, and I can look at your assignment. I can also see like when you stopped working on it, yada, yada, yada. So I know that everything was done on time. I'll grade your assignments and discussions on a rubric. So generally, the way my rubrics work, as let's say you pretty much didn't do much of your assignment, in that case, you get 0%. If you did pretty much everything and you got pretty much everything correct, you'll get 100%. And if you're somewhere in between, if you didn't really get most of it done and you had some issues, then you get half credit, which is 50%. So I kind of grade you on the rubric. I'm hopeful that most people will get full marks. If you're just missing one or two little things, you'll get full marks. But if you have only about half or so done correctly, then you'll probably get about 50%. And we'll go over the syllabus in a second, and you'll see how assignments and discussions are weighed. We have the grade book. I'll generally aim to get everything graded that you turned in within 24 to 48 hours. I've had classes where you wait and you don't get any grades back till like the last week of the semester or after the semester ends, which is terrible. So I try to be really fast in getting things graded so you can get some real good feedback, so you know what you need to tweak or change as we move forward through the semester. So generally, you're going to be turning in your assignments on a Sunday night, and I will usually get them back to you sometime on Monday or Tuesday. Again, I try to have a fast turnaround time, so that way you can get some real feedback from me if there's anything you need to make changes or improvements to. It's going to be really important for me that I give you that feedback as quickly as possible. Collaborations, I have no idea what that is. I'll see if I can hide that. Office 365, there's some connectivity to Office 365. So I think you can link your OneDrive into Canvas. I haven't played around with that too much. So you can try playing around with that. Again, there's going to be a lot of things we still have to figure out as we go through the semester, so it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But we'll figure it out. So now, let's go back to the syllabus. And actually, I wonder what happens if I click syllabus on the left-hand side here. What does this do? Okay, this is an overview of the assignments and when they're due. Okay, cool. So that's just interesting. But we're going to go over the syllabus document itself now. So if you want, you can also download this document, I believe, by clicking on the link, and that'll download a copy so you can open it in Microsoft Word. So I'll do that just so you have a bigger screen to see. Okay, so here we are. So this is the INFOST 440 syllabus. This is going to be pretty accurate through the semester. I might have to change a thing or two with the schedule, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this should give you a good amount of information that you can reference pretty much at any time to figure out how much things are worth or weighted in regards to your final grade, anything that you might need, like potential readings, yada, yada, yada. So we'll go over this now. So we talked a lot about the course. One thing I didn't mention is for the textbook, we don't have a required textbook. This is the recommended textbook. This is an older version of this textbook. So if you want to buy this textbook, you certainly can. It's not required. I will post some things from it. I will use some script examples from this textbook. If you want to buy it from like Amazon, it's pretty affordable. It's not super expensive, particularly because it's an older version that's not recent. If you were to happen to Google the book's name with a space PDF, you may or may not find it on one of the first Google results. But you should always buy the book and support the author. So if you want to pick up this book, you can. It's not going to be required. I will post anything you need to really, really know from it online to the course site. If you have any special needs, please let me know right away. As you're going to see, I don't make any exceptions for late work. Work is due on the due date, and if it's late, I don't take it at all. So if you have any special needs, please talk to me ahead of time, ahead of the deadlines in particular. I'm happy to help try to make some accommodations. So if you're, let's say, taking a trip out of town with your family and you might need an extra couple of days to get work done for whatever reason, talk to me about it. I could probably make that happen. If you have some sort of disability and you need something special set up for the class, like maybe you require extra time on a test, talk to me. We can make that happen. If you have any other type of special need, again, talk to me. I usually work something out depending on what that need is. But generally, if you just need a little bit extra time to do an assignment here or there, that's not a big deal at all. But if you don't talk to me ahead of time, but ahead of those deadlines, and let's say you come to me at the end of the semester and say, I know I didn't do well in your class, I've had yada, yada, yada going on in my life, and I have this condition, and I really need you to give me an A because I had this special need. I'm going to say, tough luck. You should have talked to me about it, at the start of the semester and whenever the special need had arisen, right? If you're in the hospital midway through the semester, talk to me as soon as it happens, and not at the end of the class. So again, you need to talk to me before deadlines, before things start up, as soon as you know about anything that might impact your performance in class. I try to be reasonable and I try to be a nice guy. I don't want to be, kind of an asshole. So please just talk to me ahead of time. I do have to be fair to everybody in the class. I have to be really careful about any extensions I give out or any exceptions I make to the late policy. So please just keep in mind that I need to be fair to the class. And just please just get your work done and submit it in time. And let me know before a deadline, like a day before the deadline and not 5 minutes before the deadline, if you need any extra time to accommodate for any special needs. We're essentially going to provide all the tools that you're going to need for this class. The only thing you really have to bring to this class is a computer of some sort with a reasonably fast internet connection to watch these videos. We're going to provide the server. You can use open source or free software for developing your applications, so that piece should be hopefully pretty straightforward. So how is your grading going to be broken down? Well, after you've looked at this Canvas site, you already know for sure you're going to have some assignments. You're going to have some participation, but we haven't really talked about yet is we're going to have essentially two tests. You're going to have a midterm and an exam. So again, these midterms and exams will be online. I'll post details generally the week before they open up, and then you'll have a week to take the exam, and they'll be immediately graded for the most part. Previously in past semesters, they've just been multiple choice, true, false type questions on the exam. I haven't done any short answer. I might change that for this semester if I want to, but Chances are probably just keep it multiple choice, true, false, so they can be immediately and automatically graded. So you have 2 of those. When we look at the schedule, you'll see one is about halfway through and the other one is towards the end of class as a final exam. You're also going to have a final project. So the final project is weighted 30% of the grade. That's a huge amount. Why? Because we're going to spend a lot of time on the final projects. Traditionally in this class, and it's probably going to be the same for you as well, the final projects have consisted of building blogging software from the ground up. And I'll post some examples on our course site within the next week or so of some of the previous final project examples. So you're going to essentially build your own web application. That's going to be a piece of blogging software. You're not going to download or install WordPress, but you're going to build your own from the ground up. You're going to be using you can actually essentially use all the assignments that we do in this class. You can add on to them and tweak them to build this final project. So that's going to be worth a lot of points as we spend a lot of time on it. And I really want it to be a project that you're proud of, you can make use of, and something that's really going to be beneficial for you life after this class. I don't want it to be a waste of time. I want you to have a final project that you can build and use and showcase in a portfolio, whether you're going off to an interview or applying for jobs or for grad school. I really want you to produce a final project that's going to benefit you after you're done in this class. I already mentioned this, but every week you're going to have generally an assignment and a discussion you have to complete. The assignments are weighted 40%. That's the highest percentage worth in this class. And the assignments do build on one another. These assignments will really test and help you learn your real practical skills each week. So essentially we're going to have a video, I'm going to show you how to do some things, and then you're going to have an assignment based on the new things you learned how to do. These assignments do build on one another, right? So if you miss an assignment, let's say 2 or 3, assignment 4 and 5 are going to be much more difficult because they build on one another. So you're essentially going to have to redo or do anyways the work in the previous assignments in order to get later assignments done. So it's going to be really important that you get your assignments done, completed fully, and submitted on time, because each week they will build on one another. So assignments are 40%, the final project is 30%, the 2 tests together are 20%, and then the weekly participation, which will most often be a discussion, post, and reply, will be 10%. There will be some extra credit opportunities with some assignments. So if you bomb one assignment or you don't turn in an assignment, you don't need to freak out that much. If it's just one, you can earn some of those points back with some extra credit opportunities that'll happen later in the semester, but they're not every week. So make sure you turn in your assignments, or at least turn in whatever you can get done. Because if you miss one assignment and we have 10 assignments, that's already 10% of that 40% gone. So you can lose a lot of points really quickly if you don't turn in your work. So please make sure that you get your assignments submitted. As I already mentioned this, no late work will be accepted. So again, please make sure you turn in your assignments on time. Most assignments and discussion posts and tests will be due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Generally, the content will be posted before or just at Sunday morning. So you're going to essentially have a full week and a day to get your week's worth of work done. So please make sure that you get it done and submit it on time. Keep in mind, this is Central Time, so if you're traveling, just be aware that the time difference. The Dropbox will close at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you get things submitted. If it's late, to Fluck, no credit. So keep that in mind. The reason why we have no late work accepted is because the class moves at a pretty fast pace. To be completely honest, this is probably going to be one of the more difficult classes that you have. Probably the most difficult SOAS class you are going to have. The class does move at a fast pace, so it's going to be really important that you stay they stay up to speed and you don't miss any work. So please make sure you turn things in on time. We don't accept late work, yada, yada, yada. Again, talked about assignments, talked about test exams, talked about the final project, talked about participation. If you want to review the UWM and SOAS academic policies, please feel free to check out this link. These are all the terms and conditions about what to do if something catastrophic happens, what rights you have as a student, and all those finer details. So feel free to visit that link. But again, if you have any special needs, please talk to me. I want to accommodate them as best as I can. I want to be, a nice guy. I want to help you out. I want you to be successful. because that's really important to me that you get something good out of this class, and I want everybody to do as well as they possibly can. So now here is the course schedule. I say this is subject to change. It probably won't change, but this is your class. And if you give me feedback, if I get a lot of feedback saying, you're going way too slow, can we speed things up? Or, whoa, can we slow down? We're going way too fast. Can we spend some more time focusing on this topic? We can definitely adjust it. I mean, you pay a ton of money for this class. This is your experience, and I want it to be the best that it can possibly be. So the schedule may change depending on how everybody is doing and the feedback that I receive. But in general, this is what we're going to be doing. As you can notice, essentially the first 10, 11 weeks of the class, you're going to have an assignment to participation every single week. I'm not going to give you any work over Thanksgiving week. You're going to have that week off. But I will go over the final project the week before. So if you want to work on the final project over Thanksgiving, you are certainly welcome to. So most of the course material will be crammed into the first 11 weeks or so. You will have a midterm during week 8 and week 13. So again, kind of the midpoint and towards the end of class. You will notice you'll have roughly 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, almost a month, to get your final projects done. That may seem like a tremendous amount of time, but you will need that time if you want to do your final project well and have it polished and have a real product that you can show off to as a portfolio piece to potential employers, or keep it in your resume or in your code snippet packet if someone asks at an interview. But you're going to have a lot of time to do it, which is again why the final project is weighted so much. I really want you to have a great final project that's going to be something you're able to show off and be proud of. Again, with the weekly assignments, we'll generally be due Sunday 11:59 p.m. I will get those graded generally then on Monday and or Tuesday and get the feedback to you as soon as possible. So that way, when you start the next week content, you will have some feedback to go off of. You'll know whether you're on the right track or if there's anything you need to revisit or fix. If you notice any issues with your grades or anything along those lines, please don't hesitate to ask for feedback or for clarification. I'm human. I might make mistakes. So please let me know if you notice any issues. I'm happy to review them and correct them if necessary. The final project will be due on December 13th. Just keep in mind this is a Thursday, not a Sunday. This is the last day of classes. So again, your final project is due on the last day of classes, December 13th, which is a Thursday. Your final projects are not going to be due during exam week. They're going to be due just on the last day of class. The reason why I do that is I know a lot of you are going to have other exams that will stretch into exam week, and I want you to be able to focus on those. I know you're probably taking 3, 4, 5 other classes, so I want to make sure that when you approach this final project, you can get it knocked out before the grunt of your other projects start in the other classes. So hopefully this will allow you some time to focus on other things once you're done with INFOST 440 work. So that's the syllabus. Okay. So now this video has been going for 38 minutes, which is a long time to sit and run through a video. We're going to take a quick break, and I will post a second video which will go over this week's new material and instructions on how to set up your web space. So feel free to take a breather. I know I can talk fast. I am sorry about that. I try to slow myself down as much as I can. Don't be afraid to say, email me and say, hey Jim, you talk really fast in your videos. I can use those constant reminders. So take a quick break and come back and watch the second video for this week, and we will continue on with some new material. And as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And now I'm thinking about that, I didn't talk about the best way to get a hold of me, which is at the top of the syllabus here. So I am on campus in my office generally like Monday through Thursday. I get to campus really early at around like 6:30 in the morning, and I generally leave about 3 in the afternoon. Generally Monday through Thursday. And Fridays, I tend to work from home. Sometimes on Mondays, I'll work out of my home office as well. But you can definitely stop by my office. I may or may not be available. My office is on the 3rd floor of the Northwest Quadrant, room 3428. So you can stop by and pop in and ask for help really at any time. And if I'm available, I will help you. But if I'm busy running around in between meetings, if I'm not there, I'm sorry, then I won't be able to help you. You can definitely, probably the best way to get a hold of me is by email. So you can email me any questions you might have. If you email me, please include as much detail as possible. If you just email me and say, I have an issue, I'm not really going to know what to tell you. Please give me details. Send me error messages you're receiving. Send me the troubleshooting steps you've already attempted. Be as specific as you can if you're going to email me a question. If you want to meet with me and set up a time to meet, you can email me. Please let me know your availability, when you can come to campus to talk with me. If you email me, I can definitely block off my calendar so I can make sure I'm available to talk with you. We can either meet on campus in my office, or we can meet online using something like GoToMeeting or Skype or any other online tool. We can do a telephone conference as well. I'm pretty open to that. So again, I'm usually on campus Monday through Thursday, 6:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. I'm off campus the rest of the time. If you want to meet in person, you can meet on campus with me. I live in Waukesha, so if you happen to be in the Waukesha area and you want to meet up like at a coffee shop or something, that's also completely fine. I live like on the western side of Waukesha by Wales and Delafield. So if you're around the area, we can also meet up like in a coffee shop or somewhere around here, especially on Fridays since I'm not on campus generally anyways. Otherwise, online meetings are completely fine. I have a phone number listed here. This rings my office. And again, I may or may not be in my office. I get a lot of telemarketing calls. So if I don't answer my phone, don't be offended. Just send me an email letting me know that you tried calling, you couldn't get a hold of me, and what your question is, and I will get back to you. If you email me, I will generally get back to you within 24 hours, Monday through Friday. Over the weekend, it might be a little bit longer if I'm off, spending time with family or doing other things. I actually have a lot of out-of-town weddings. This semester, I think I have like 3 of my friends that are getting married, and it's all out of town, so I'm not going to be at home. I'm going to be having to stay at hotels and driving across the country and all that other fun stuff. So over the weekend, it might take me 48 hours or so to get back to you. But generally, if you email me, I'll get back to you within 24 hours. So if you don't hear from me within 24 to 48 hours, depending on when you email me, please follow up with me again. Sometimes emails do get filtered into my junk folder, or I get bombarded with a ton of mail and it just gets missed in my inbox. And I'm sorry if that happens, but please reach out to me or follow up with me. I'm kind of as needed if you have any questions at all. Again, this is your class. I want this to be a good experience for you. So let me know if you need anything at all. I'm happy to talk, help you solve any issues you might run into, and generally point you in the right direction for anything tech related. All right, so it's time for a break. I'm going to grab a coffee, and you can check back in for the second video.